The ground quakes as eruptions of earth and rock strew rubble across the valley, and hordes of clanrats emerge from the tunnels left behind. Caught unaware by this new threat, the Nighthaunt forces form ranks and prepare to charge down their foe. However, behind the clanrats rises the grotesque and monstrous form of Bone Ripper, ridden by the warpstone-addicted Grey Seer, Thanquol. The deathly hosts are not without their own monstrous beasts, though, as Mannfred Von Carstein has allied himself to their cause. When the ghastly blades of the Nighthaunt meet the rusted spears of the Skaventide, only one force will emerge victorious.
Hello and welcome to Season of War. We got another battle report for you. A new matchup, me and Alex. We've never played on the channel and we've seldomly played in real life.
Yeah, twice I think before.
We would just like to thank our premium members for allowing us to do so many battle reports. For those of you that don't know, being a premium member unlocks an extra battle report for you each week. If you want to learn more about that, you can hit the join button below and you can take a look. Other than that, the scenery here was printed from printable scenery, and we would like to give a special shout out to X Planet Games, where we get most of our hobby needs. And with that, we are playing Power Struggle, which is a little bit of a weird one, in that you have to control objectives for 2 consecutive turns, but it's your turns in order to score. And it's the standard score 1, score 2, and score more. So with that, do you want to take us through your list?
So I'm playing Nighthaunt today as voted by the premium team. They like to see me struggle. But got a Linder, a unit of 10 hex wraiths, a unit of 5 hex wraiths, another unit of 10 hex wraiths. Got the Knight of Shrouds on Steed. I got the Briar Queen. I got the Thorns of the Briar Queen, Reichnor, and then allied in today is Mannfred.
Mannfred, yeah. And it's a list that you don't run very often, or this is kind of the first time that you're trying it out?
I played it a while back against Zach's Fire Slayers, and I tweaked it a little bit, brought Mannfred along instead of the Black Coach.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. They do have quite a bit of mortal wound output from the hitting, as well. I mean, my army's just a lot of low-rend attacks, so your ethereal is not gonna matter as much. But I'll take us through my army. My army is a whole bunch of clanrats. So 40 clanrats, 20 clanrats, 20 clanrats. A smattering of heroes. Have the Screaming Bell, Thanquol, who's gonna, I think, be big in this matchup, and the Arch Warlock, as well as a Warlock Bombardier. I have 6 Warplock Giselles, which are one of my favorite units. They're not as good nowadays because of the multiple stave stacking. But they're still pretty good. And I have the Umbral Spell Portal and the Warp Lightning Vortex. The trick with those two in Skaven is you're able to throw forward the Warp Lightning Vortex through the Spell Portal, increasing your range. Because EOS 3 has removed that, increasing the ranges of endless spells. Other than that, I have the Amulet of Destiny on my Arch Warlock and the Vigor Dust Injector on the Bombardier, so he can give +1 to hit to things. So with that, you were 3 drops because this was neatly packaged in a battle regiment.
Yep.
And I was 4 drops because I had the Command Entourage and the battle regiment. So I think with AOS 3 you'll see a lot of 4 drops. So going to 3 is a pretty smart idea. So you have choice. Do you want to go first, or are you going to give me first?
Whew, that's a good question. We'll do a 5 up, I go first.
Okay.
Or a 4 up.
You're going first.
I'm going first.
All right, it'll be Nighthaunt turn 1.
The Nighthaunt choose Thanquol as the target of the Emerald Curse. The Nighthaunt battle tactic is Monstrous Takeover. Lady Olinder fails heroic leadership, but Thanquol succeeds at it. Reichnor snuffs the corpse candle and casts the Mortalis Terminexus. Lady Olinder fails to cast Mystic Shield. And Mannfred successfully casts Arcane Bolt. Lady Olinder casts Shade Mist, but is unbound. At the end of the hero phase, the Mortalis Terminexus deals 7 mortal wounds in total. In the Battle Shock phase, 2 clanrats free from Battle Shock were cowards. The Nighthaunt hold more objectives and complete their battle tactic to score 3 victory points.
Nighthaunt turn 1.
Yes. So, I started off, threw up the Mortalis Terminexus, did a couple of mortal wounds, and a couple of more clanrats, then ran afterwards. Got a arcane bolt up on Mannfred and put him with a run right up front and center. You can come at him, but unless you shoot him, you can't really hurt him in melee because he just can flee.
Yep.
Then I moved up all my Hex Wraiths just to get on the objective and to prepare for next turn. And because of the quirk of this mission, I will score 2 for my battle tactic and then hold 1, hold 2. You have to...
for 2 turns, yeah.
For 2 turns, but I get hold more right away.
Correct.
So I'll score 3 points and send it to you.
Yeah. And it's interesting as well, you put your Hex Wraiths just outside of 18 of Thanquol, because he is the one piece who can just eliminate one of those units per turn.
Yeah.
Which is why they're arrayed in this kind of like straight line 18 inches away from him. So yeah, we're gonna go into Skaven turn 1.
The Skaven battle tactic is aggressive expansion. The Arch Warlock fails heroic recovery, and Mannfred fails heroic leadership. The Screaming Bell releases an unholy clamor for its peal of doom. Thanquol dispels the Mortalis Terminexus. The Screaming Bell casts Death Frenzy on the clanrats. The Screaming Bell casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. The Arch Warlock casts Umbral Spell Portal using the Master of Magic command trait. The Arch Warlock fails to cast an overcharged Warp Lightning Storm, rerolls using a Warp Spark, and miscasts, dealing 15 mortal wounds to himself. The Warp Lock Giselles uses all-out attack, but fails to deal any damage. The Bombardier also fails to deal any damage. Thanquol shoots at Mannfred, dealing 1 wound. Mannfred uses all-out defense, and the clanrats deal 4 wounds to him. The clanrats also use all-out defense, and Mannfred attacks back, killing 8 clanrats. The Skaven hold more objectives and complete their battle tactic to score 3 points.
Alrighty, Skaven turn 1. I dealt more damage to myself, I think, than I did to you.
15 damage to your...
to my Arch Warlock. It happens every single game. You'd think I did equip him with Amulet of Destiny and Master of Magic, so that if I have once per turn reroll, and then if it's if the second spell fails, I'm able to eat a warpstone spark to reroll that as well. So I rerolled a 3 into a miscast. So that dealt 12 mortal wounds to myself, and then 3 from the miscast. So he just evaporated. I charged my 40 clanrats over here, taking the point from you. So I score my battle tactic, and I score more, so it'll be 3 to 3. With that being said, I'm moving Thanquol up. I actually wanted you to teleport Mannfred, so I'm free to move Thanquol, because this 3-inch gap right now is preventing me from getting into your Hex Wraith. So it'll be interesting to see where we go. But you didn't teleport him, which is the right decision, so we'll roll for priority for turn 2.
Yeah, you put 2 wounds on Mannfred. You actually put more on him, but because he killed something, he healed 3.
Yeah, the clanrats aren't gonna take him down, I think. So yeah, let's roll for priority for turn 2. 3. And you went first, so you break ties.
So I will keep the order going, and I will take it then.
Sounds good. So we'll go to Nighthaunt turn 2.
The Nighthaunt battle tactic is aggressive expansion. Mannfred deals 2 wounds with heroic recovery, and Thanquol uses heroic leadership. Reikenor snuffs a corpse candle and casts Wraithstorm, dealing 3 mortal wounds to the clanrats. The Briar Queen casts Howling Vortex and deals 1 wound to the clanrats. Mannfred fails to cast Wind of Death. Mannfred uses the Vigor of Undeath. Mannfred casts Mystic Shield on himself. Lady Alinder casts Shade Mist, but is unbound. Lady Alinder lifts the veil, dealing 4 mortal wounds to the clanrats. Lady Alinder casts Grief Stricken on the clanrats. The Hex Wraiths deal 3 mortal wounds to the clanrats with Spectral Hunters. The Hex Wraiths trigger Wave of Terror and fight in the charge phase, killing 11 clanrats. Thanquol uses all-out defense. The Knight of Shrouds uses all-out attack and deals 2 wounds to Thanquol. Thanquol deals 2 damage to the Hex Wraiths. The Hex Wraiths deal 4 wounds to Thanquol and 8 wounds to the clanrats. The Screaming Bell uses all-out attack and deals 2 wounds to the Hex Wraiths. The other unit of Hex Wraiths deal 3 wounds to the Screaming Bell. The Nighthaunt hold more objectives, and complete their battle tactic to score 5 points.
Alright, so Nighthaunt won the roll-off and took full advantage, I would say.
Yeah.
Got a couple of spells off here and there, did some chip wounds. got to use Linder's ugly face to scare some rats away.
Yep.
Then Linder even got to scream. Like, that never happens to me. She's usually dead before that.
Yep.
So that was fun. But the key takeaway here, I would say, is the Knight of Shrouds charged into Thanquol before any of the Hex Race did their charges. So he took the Overwatch shots and just tanked
No, I didn't even choose to.
Oh, you
Yeah,
didn't?
like it doesn't matter to do it, yeah. Just so that I couldn't barbecue whatever was coming in.
Exactly. So then the Hex Race all got to charge in unencumbered. I even got a Nighthaunt charge off.
Which is
why there's no rats here.
Yeah.
I didn't get a whole lot on Thanquol or the Bell really, but the rats are gone and the Bell can't move now.
Yep.
Thanquol can retreat and roast a unit of Hex Wraiths, but that's the price you gotta pay.
Yep. And it's like we were discussing while you're playing your turn, it's only one unit a turn.
Yeah.
And he's 5 models, and as long as Mannfred is there, it's going to take me, 3 turns to get there, and by that point, maybe it's already too late, and you've set up enough roadblocks. But we'll see.
Yeah, so I'll get score 1, score 2, score more, because I held this on my turn, and then you took it, and then I took it back on my turn, which counts
consecutive of your turns, yeah.
So I'll score that, plus my battle tactic for just holding these 2.
Yep.
For 5 points this round.
5 points, so you're at 8 to my 3. So we'll see what Skaven can do turn 2.
The Skaven battle tactic is Broken Reins. Thanquol deals 2 wounds from heroic recovery, and Rankinar deals 1. The Screaming Bell releases an unholy clamor for its Peal of Doom. Thanquol casts the Warp Lightning Vortex, dealing 13 mortal wounds in total. Thanquol casts an Arcane Bolt. The Screaming Bell casts Mystic Shield on Thanquol. The Bombardier casts an Overcharged Warp Lightning, using a reroll from Warp Spark, dealing 4 mortal wounds to the Knight of Shrouds. Thanquol unleashes his Arcane Bolt, dealing 3 wounds to the Knight of Shrouds. The Warp-locked Jezzails use a Null Hole to teleport. At the end of the movement phase, the Warp Lightning Vortex deals 7 mortal wounds to the nearby units. The Warp-locked Jezzails deal 4 mortal wounds to Mannfred. Thanquol shoots at the Hex Wraith, dealing 9 mortal wounds with his Warp Fire projectors. Thanquol uses all-out attack and finishes off the Hex Wraiths. The other unit of Hex Wraiths deal 1 wound to the Screaming Bell. The Screaming Bell fails to deal any damage. The Skaven hold 2 objectives and complete their battle tactic to score 5 points.
So Skaven turn 2. So I kind of kept the Warp Lightning Vortex in the back of my pocket, and unleashing it now is ridiculous. Like, because it goes off both on the hero phase and at the end of the movement phase, it does so much damage, and it's starting to turn the tide of battle for me. Thanquol did what Thanquol was going to do and eliminated 1 Hex Wraith unit, so I'm in a very good position now. I've started to rocket my clanrat unit up the field this way to try to potentially threaten your objective there if I can't get the middle one. So I think I'm in a good position. So the priority for turn 3 I think is going to be big. Yep. Like we were discussing prior to the recap right now, is if I win it, I think I eliminate the Hex Wraith unit, possibly Mannfred, and it's looking pretty thin for Nighthaunt at that point. So with that being said, let's roll priority and see where it goes.
3.
That's a 3 as well.
Oh.
So we've tied every single time, and you went first, so you have choice. And I think
I will take it. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So we're going to Nighthaunt, turn 3.
The Nighthaunt battle tactic is Ferocious Advance. Mannfred uses heroic recovery to heal 1 wound, and Thanquol heals 3 wounds. Alinder uses the grave sands of time to heal 4 wounds. The Briar Queen casts the Umbral spell portal, but is unbound. Reikenar snuffs 1 corpse candle and casts the Mortalis Terminexus. Mannfred miscasts the Wind of Death and takes 1 mortal wound. Lady Alinder casts Shade Mist on the unit of 5 hex wraiths. Lady Alinder casts Arcane Bolt, but is unbound. The Mortalis Terminexus deals 3 mortal wounds to both the clanrats and the warplock Jezzails. At the start of the combat phase, Mannfred uses Mortalk of Night to teleport. The Hex Wraiths trigger Wave of Terror and fight in the charge phase, dealing 4 wounds to the clanrats. The Hex Wraiths attack again in the combat phase, dealing 2 more wounds to the clanrats. The clanrats deal 1 wound to the Hex Wraiths. The Nighthaunt have held 2 objectives for 2 consecutive turns, hold more objectives, and complete their battle tactic to score 5 points.
Alright, so Nighthaunt turn 3. Mannfred was a coward and ran away. That's the highlight of the turn.
Yeah.
He charged in. The
Vortex
still hit him, did 1 wound, but he ignores the first wound each phase. And then at the start of combat, he teleported away. The Hex Wraiths made a Nighthaunt charge, so they got to fight twice and did half of the unit's gone?
Yeah, half of the unit's gone, yeah. Which threatens this flank. Other than that, your Hex Wraiths ran away, right?
The Hex Wraiths ran away, did 1 mortal wound from the flyover damage.
Yep.
These 3 units ran to get the battle tactic, and just to put them in a better turn now they're in range of spells of those 2 units there.
Yep.
Thanquol's going to roast these 10 Hex Wraiths probably, but...
what can you do?
What can you do?
Yeah, at that point. And it looks like you're going to be trying to heal Mannfred and then launching him at a later turn.
Yeah. So the bell can't move anymore because there's no rats to move it.
Yep.
Thanquol can take this back, unfortunately.
Yep.
But because you have
pushing on both my sides, so I take the center, but you push to both sides.
Yeah, and because you have to do the hold it for 2 turns, you won't actually, you'll get the score more, but I can hopefully take something back before you can start like scoring that one
big,
properly.
Yeah, for sure. But the big story of the game so far has been the Vortex because everybody's avoiding it, including me.
Yeah.
So we'll go to Skaven turn 3.
The Skaven battle tactic is Conquer. Thanquol fails heroic leadership, and Mannfred heals 2 wounds from heroic recovery. The Screaming Bell fails to dispel the Mortalis Terminexus. The Screaming Bell's Peal of Doom unleashes a deafening peal, dealing 2 mortal wounds. Thanquol casts Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt. The Screaming Bell casts Crack's Call, dealing 4 mortal wounds to Lady Alinder, but were shrugged to the Hex Wraith. The Bombardier miscasts Chain Warp Lightning and takes 1 mortal wound. The Mortalis Terminexus deals 2 mortal wounds to the clanrats and 1 mortal wound to Jezzails. Thanquol shoots at the Hex Wraiths, dealing 20 mortal wounds. The Warp-locked Jezzails deal 2 wounds to Reikenar. Thanquol finishes off Lady Alinder. The Skaven have held 2 objectives for 2 consecutive turns, hold more objectives, and complete their battle tactic to score 5 points.
Skaven turn 3. So, as expected, Thanquol keeps doing Thanquol things.
Yeah.
I think he's been basically the model that's kept me in the game. He summoned the Warp Lightning Vortex. He's killed 2 units of Hex Wraiths. And he managed to punch Alinder to death. So he's in a good position now in the midfield. I think he's perfectly suited to fight your army because it's 2 wound models, and he's very good at killing those things. Now, in kind of AOS 3, he's not as good as previously, where there was a lot of hordes, but he's still a very, very useful model.
No, for sure.
And yeah, he's in the midfield now. He captured me that point, so the next turn it's gonna score me more points, and he could potentially threaten one of your back objectives. But as we've seen, we've rolled 3s every single time, so you could potentially get the turn again.
Yeah.
And these Hex Wraiths are threatening my position here, so, and the Reikenar and them are threatening the position over here as well, so we'll see. So let's roll for priority. That's
2.
a 1.
Oh. So neither of us rolled a 3, but
no.
I do still get the win, so I will take it here.
It sounds good. So we're going to Nighthaunt turn 4.
The Nighthaunt battle tactic is Conquer. Mannfred heals 3 wounds from heroic recovery, and Thanquol fails it. Mannfred fails to cast Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt. The Briar Queen casts Spectral Tether, healing 1 wound on Reikenar. Reikenar snuffs a corpse candle and casts Wraithstorm, dealing 5 mortal wounds to the clanrats. The Mortalis Terminexus deals 3 wounds to the clanrats and 1 to the Screaming Bell. The Bombardier uses Unleash Hell, dealing 6 wounds to the Hex Wraiths. Reikenar deals 2 mortal wounds to the clanrats. The Nighthaunt have held 2 objectives for 2 consecutive turns and complete their battle tactic for 5 points.
Alright, so Mannfred healed himself up enough to jump back in the fray. I couldn't get a charge on Thanquol because of the position of the spell portal. It sort of blocked that, so I just ran him up, plus the Briar Queen ran over just to take that objective purely on bodies.
Yep.
Reikenar cast his spells. The Mortalis went off again into those rats, and then Reikenar charged in and cleaned them up.
Yep.
The 3 Hex Wraiths over here tried to charge in, but the Overwatch shot blew them up pretty good.
Yep. Yeah. I had to roll a 5 up to hit, and then 6 damage to kill them to a man. Yeah. which was a nice surprise for me. So that secures that flank pretty well. So, yeah.
Luckily, they're still slow-ish rats.
Yeah.
So
I
they won't get on it this turn, but turn 5
potentially, yeah.
Yeah. If you win the roll for turn, that could be bad. But you know, Mannfred's back up now.
And he's in the center, so he can really go anywhere.
He can go wherever he needs to.
Yep.
So yeah, going into your turn 4, we'll see what I have left after it, I guess.
Yeah.
That'll be the key.
Pretty much. So we're gonna go ahead and see what Skaven turn 4 holds. So Skaven turn 4.
The Skaven battle tactic is Savage Spearhead. Thanquol fails heroic recovery, but Mannfred heals 2 wounds from it. The Screaming Bell's Peal of Doom unleashes Apocalyptic Doom, dealing 9 mortal wounds in total. Thanquol miscasts Mystic Shield and takes 2 mortal wounds. The Warplock Jezzails shoot at and finish off Rakenar. Thanquol uses Scurry Away to retreat from combat. The Skaven have held 2 objectives for 2 consecutive turns, hold more objectives, and complete their battle tactic to score 5 points.
Skaven turn 4. And it's been a really close game, and because of kind of how the scoring is with the consecutive turns, we really have to think about the battle tactics, and if you miss one, it's probably game over. So the only one I could feasibly do this turn was Savage Spearhead, and because of the Skaven rule of running away instead of activating and fighting, I was able to charge your chain rafts there and rocket Thanquol into the corner there to score it. And then I hold 1, hold 2, and hold more. So we've basically been just going back and forth, 5 points, 5 points, 5 points.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where the 5th battle round goes. We were discussing it prior to us recording. I have a pretty easy one that I can do in turn 5. So all it comes down to is if you have one that you can do. And if that's the case and we both do them, it's just gonna be a draw. So I haven't had one of those ever, so we'll just roll priority and see if you can win this one.
Yeah, I better.
6.
2.
I will take it. So it'll be Skaven turn 5.
The Skaven battle tactic is Monstrous Takeover. Thanquol fails heroic recovery, but Mannfred heals 1 wound. Thanquol casts Mystic Shield, but is unbound. Thanquol casts Arcane Bolt. The Screaming Bell casts Crack's Call, but fails to deal any damage. The Screaming Bell's Peal of Doom unleashes an Apocalyptic Doom, dealing 5 mortal wounds in total. The Mortalis Terminexus deals 2 wounds to the Briar Queen. The Skaven have held 2 objectives for 2 consecutive turns, hold more, and complete their battle tactic to score 5 points.
Skaven turn 5. So I think it was pretty simple. I had Monstrous Takeover like we discussed last turn. So I just teleported Thanquol into a more defensive position because I knew that if you were to achieve your battle tactic, we would draw. It's incredibly close. We can't deny each other prize sorcery.
Yeah.
And so it all hinges down to this one battle tactic because you're gonna, like you said, score 1, score 2, and score more, like we've been doing back and forth. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead into Nighthaunt turn 5.
The Nighthaunt battle tactic is Broken Ranks. Mannfred and Thanquol both use their finest hour. Mannfred uses Vigor of Undeath on himself. Mannfred casts Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt. The Briar Queen casts Spectral Tether and heals 2 wounds. The Mortalis Demonexus heals 2 wounds to Mannfred. The Briar Queen uses at the double. The clanrats use redeploy, moving 5 inches. The Nighthaunt have held 2 objectives for 2 consecutive turns and hold more to score 3 points.
Alright, so Nighthaunt turn 5. I got this point back just from moving things onto it. And then Mannfred's finest hour happened, but Carl redeployed.
Yeah, I got that 5 to get my clanrats out because he chose broken ranks. The big decision point for us while we were talking was either bring it down to kill Thanquol or to do broken ranks. We did end up just rolling out to see if you went the other way to kill a Thanquol. I forgot that your allegiance ability is -1 for a hero, and you would have killed him pretty comfortably if you went this way.
That would have been the right play in the end, but forgot about redeploy and
it's AOS 3, right? It's like a lot of things to think about. Sometimes you forget about those small moments that could potentially win the game. I, in hindsight, should have hid Thanquol a little bit better because wholly within 6 might have meant me in the corner. Which wouldn't have allowed you to score that. But if you went this way with how I placed it and based on how we rolled the dice afterwards to see, you would have killed him pretty handily, and yeah, you would have scored 4 extra points, 3 extra points.
No,
4. 4 extra points because monster slain, bring it down, and doing it with a monster, which would put it at 28-26. But unfortunately, with the redeploy, I got out, so it's 26-24. We're always talking about the Unleash Hell.
Yeah, and that's another
way.
reason I didn't, because you could have bracketed me, but I was on Finest Hour, +1 save, Mystic Shield, +1 save, so I was ignoring your rend. So really, it was
just the 6s that was going to go through.
Yeah.
It does have a potential to do 8, but like how often is that really going to happen? But yeah, there's like all these small moments that can define a game. The whole game we were tied neck to neck. And yeah, I just got lucky with my D6 roll, because if, like, let's say I rolled a 1 or a 2, you would have gotten straight in. And those clanrats wouldn't survive Mannfred at all, and that would have scored you 3 points, which would put you 1 above me. So yeah, I mean, I will say though that me blowing up my leader was probably good for me in the end because he couldn't score that battle tactic. So I mean, I guess that helps, but.
Yeah, just getting more familiar with my list. Like, this is the only second game I played with Nighthaunt in 3.0.
Yeah.
And I brought the Umbral Spell Portal, never even tried to cast it.
Yeah.
The only time it would have been helpful was turn 1, and I forgot to cast it. Having your movement on turn 1 could have been a big play too.
Most of my things don't fly, so I would have been stuck behind the screens of clanrats. And they move 6. So they would be moving 3, and Thanquol would be stuck behind. You kind of get your hex rates much more in position, and with you winning the priority, you could have potentially split the 2 10 units, and Thanquol would have to go one way, take 2 turns to go the other way. But we kind of got stuck in the middle, and you know, this is kind of the outcome of the game.
As far as Nighthaunt performing in 3.0, we're pretty happy with this game. Like, to keep it close. Bringing the Mannfred as an ally is kind of cool, because then you still can benefit from Mystic Shield and all-out defense, and
which the rest of your
Finest Hour. So like Mannfred or a Gargant, like throwing those into Nighthaunt really helps them out.
Because the only other option you have for monsters would be a Mourngul, right? In Nighthaunt, and that's not really the most killy thing. So Mannfred is able to get you the extra victory points, and he's so hard to kill because he always teleports out. So it's a good choice for that slot, because Nighthaunt in of itself as an army doesn't have it. The Gargant's a good shout too. For sure. There's been, you know, a few tournament lists recently that have had the Death Gargant. Flesh Eater Courts, Bill Souza won a GT with with a Mega Gargant ally, and so that might be something to think about in the future as well.
It's just a shame that that's the position that Nighthaunt is in, where you need to bring allies to benefit from the 3.0 rules.
Yeah.
There's no real shooting to speak of, so you can't do that. You can't get +1 save from any of the multiple sources.
Yeah. It's and Unleash Hell really puts a damper on them, because you want to get in, and as soon as you try to get in and somebody unleashes Hell on you, it could take away a lot of your tools when you go in. And it happens when you charge, so
you can't even get the Nighthaunt charge.
The Nighthaunt charge, to do the Allegiance ability, someone could potentially, bracket you or remove models before you even get to fight at the start. So they're in a very tough place. The Mortalis is a good endless spell though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not, Seraphon and just auto unbinding things, or +1,000,000 to unbind, then yeah, it can stay on the board and just chipping away. Or in this case, I brought it over here and did 2 rounds of healing on my heroes. So it's multi-purpose that way.
Yeah, and it happens in every single hero phase now. So that's a big change. Other than that, from my perspective, Skaven, there's a lot of tools I can bring with Skaven.
There's such a big book.
Yeah, I don't own this. This is kind of the iteration of my list where it was at the end of AOS 2. Where I was bringing these big blocks of clanrats to hold up objectives, and then using Thanquol or the Giselles to pick off from afar. 9 Stormfiends is very popular. I don't have them currently painted, but I do own them, so maybe in the future I get to run those. And I have quite a few weapons teams as well, so that would be interesting to try out. But this is kind of a more
old school
list. Yeah, and I mean it still works. 80 clanrats is hard to chew through.
Yeah.
And then with the heroes that run away and chip here and there. Now if I don't get greedy and overcharge and blow up my Arch Warlock, he's able to do D3 mortal wounds to D3 units every turn, and that's why I had the spell portal to kind of just spread that mortal wounds around, and that could potentially be good. But yeah, Skaven is such a wide book that it's difficult to know what's best, and there could be some builds out there that aren't being played that could potentially be good in 3.0. What that is, I don't really know, because I haven't explored the book all that deeply. I kind of just have the surface level of what people have been talking about, and I've played some of those lists, and they're pretty good. So just stay tuned and see if I get 9 Stormfiends painted. With that, I'd like to say thank you to the people who have been watching. 3.0 hasn't been a blast. It's a lot of close games. It came down to turn 5.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll see
came
more.
Really down to priority on turn 5. If I had won that, I just go into Thanquol before you score anything.
Yep. And yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do Monstrous Takeover there. So yeah, with that, thank you for watching.
Take care.
Bye.